Hello YouTubers and Jerry Anderson fans, this is Dalek Shram aka Mark, and welcome to my Thunderbirds Hot Wheels Bandai Pod Vehicles set review thingy. Now these are of course the pod vehicles used in Thunderbirds, and they were made in Japan for the Aoshima Thunderbird 2 toy. There are 3 sets, each have some pod vehicles and a character from the TV series. So we'll start off with looking at the pod vehicles, and here's the first one, Thunderbird 4. Now the whole thing's made of metal, but the light is made of rubber, which can move up and down, but mine's a little bit stiff, so I don't want to force it, otherwise I'll break it. It's roughly about the same size as the Matchbox TB4. You can see a lot of differences in this. The Matchbox TB4 is more yellower, it's not very well detailed, and it's all metal, whereas this TB4 has more detail on it. It's more of a orangey yellow, I'd say, but I like this version. Our next pod vehicle is the Mole. Now it has caterpillar tracks, but I know what you're thinking, nearly all toys with caterpillar tracks tend to have wheels on them. But with this you are wrong, because if I show you, it has no wheels. The tracks are just plastic. This does have articulation. The trolley can lift the Mole up to launch position, and the Mole can be slotted out, but it slots out backwards. I think they did it this way because it's easy to get it out that way. The detail on it is very nice, but I think maybe they could have added little dots on the windows, just small little black dots perhaps. And there's some good detail on the trolley too. Most people have always said, what colour is the trolley? Many have said it's grey, but if you look carefully, it is actually dark blue, so they have got the colouring right, although maybe this blue is a bit too bright. Maybe they could have made it a little bit darker. There is one downside with the Mole, is that the tip on the drill is the only bit that turns, which is weird. I mean, why couldn't they just turn the whole drill? I mean, that's what it's supposed to do. So that is a little bit of a disappointment, really. On to our next pod vehicle, the Firefly. This has always been my favourite, and there's not much to say about the Firefly, only that it does have wheels, or rollers as I call them, because there's only sort of 2 in the middle. All the other tracked pod vehicles have these, and of course it has articulation in the bulldozer blade. It can lift up and down. Next up is the recovery vehicle from the episode Pit of Peril. It's a very nice design. It's all made of metal, and the pipes here are rubber. I like the detail that's gone into the magnets, but unfortunately both the magnets and the cannon are made of rubber. They're joined together, which is a disappointment, but I think I know why they're all rubber and you can't fire the magnets. Sometimes with toys that actually fire things, the mechanism can get broken, or you could lose the missiles or the things you fire, whatever. So obviously the people who made the recovery vehicle thought, oh, we don't want the people to lose the magnets, so decided to join them onto the cannon. I guess it's understandable. Next is the Master Elevator Car from Trapped in the Sky. This is a wheeled pod vehicle, so it runs on wheels, as you can see. There's one error here. You can see the sign Master Elevator Car on the side, but I think they forgot the sign on the front. Now, I think some of you know that the elevator cars should be able to articulate a bit like a lorry. The front section would be the lorry and the back would be the trailer, but if I just show you the joint, it's sort of moulded together, so it can't really articulate, which I think would be its disappointment, really. The next vehicle is the mobile crane from the episode Path of Destruction. Again, this is a wheeled pod vehicle, so it has wheels. Of course, it's already got a big error on it. Have a look at the wheels. Do they look familiar? Should do. So if I bring back the elevator car, you see the same wheels, because the mobile crane shouldn't have those silver bits sticking out. Obviously, to save money, they decided to use the same wheels instead of make some new ones. As you can expect, it has articulation for the arm and the platform. The arm can also do 360 degrees. Now I know we don't actually see the mobile crane spinning the arm around, but I know it can do that because if you have a look at the Captain Scarlet episode, Seek and Destroy, the mobile crane is brought back again. This time it becomes a fire truck. And if you look carefully, it has turned slightly, so it can turn 360 degrees. Now I'm going to show you two vehicles at the same time because they're the same design. You have the fire truck from Security Hazard and the transmitter truck from Sunprobe. Now the reason why they're the same design is because they're commercial trucks. They're used by other organisations and companies all over the world for other uses. So you may remember the explosive tractor in End of the Road. Of course, International Rescue bought two of these trucks and modified them so they can be used for rescue purposes. The main articulation, of course, is in the tools. So they can turn, they can go up and down, things like that. I like the design of these trucks. It's a very unique design, I'd say. Only one problem with these trucks. On the top of the cabin there should be a little sign, IR3, little yellow sign that goes there. Either it was too small to put on or they forgot about it. The next vehicles are the excavator and the DOMO. That's what I call it because I can't pronounce its full name. Both are the same designs. In episode order, we see the excavator first in the Martian Invasion, then we see the DOMO in the Duchess assignment, but that's only in episode order. In production and broadcast order, we see the DOMO first, then the excavator, and that's because the magnets were taken off, then it was replaced by a rock crusher, and these covers were put on the side of the vehicle. I definitely like the design of these vehicles, however there are quite a few errors in these. The first one is, well, I know they've got a number 6 on them, but I'm not sure it's meant to be that big. I think they may have overdone it there. The main problem with the excavator is that the bucket and the arm doesn't really go down, it's just stationary there. The only thing that moves is the rotator inside the bucket. At that position you can stop a landslide, but I don't think you can clear a blocked tunnel. Another problem with the excavator is the rock exhaust pipes at the back. There's supposed to be 2, one on each side, but instead there's 4, which is completely wrong. Like the rock crushing tools, the DOMO's magnets don't move, they're just plastic, they just stay there. But from this position they can only hold walls if they're at that angle. However, I have sort of found the answer to this problem. The magnets are actually removable, so I can just remove the tool, and when I put it back on, just put it slightly at an angle. There we are. No one would ever know. We are now moving on to the smallest pod vehicles. Thunderizer from Edge of Impact and the Laser Beam Cutter from 30 Minutes Afternoon. They're both made of plastic, so there's nothing special about them, so they have no wheels. Technically it's 2 pieces of plastic. So if I just zoom in, you can see the line, so the tool has been glued on to the vehicle. if you have a look at the laser beam cutter, there's a small rectangle just sort of moulded onto the vehicle. Obviously that's meant to be the jet blaster. Mind you, I'm sure that the laser gun thing is meant to be a little bit longer. What do you think? Okay, so those were the vehicles. So now we'll have a look at the characters. Here we have Scott and his hover bike. You can remove the characters from the hover bikes. So as you can see, the hover bike has wheels. I like the sort of texture on the back of the chair. I'm sure that's also meant to be on the chair itself. I do like the bike, it's nicely detailed. If I show you the figure, all made of plastic, there's no articulation at all. The right hand has a hole, so he can grab the joystick when you put him on the hover bike. And of course, Scott is not alone. You also get Virgil with his blue hover bike, and Alan with another blue hover bike. And last of all, we have Brayman. Brains is robot from Sunprobe. And there's not much to tell about this figure. There's no articulation in the arms, legs at all. So it's all plastic. This comes with the set with the transmitter truck. I think they made him because, to their opinion, Sunprobe is probably the best Thunderbirds episode, so a little something to go with the transmitter truck or something like that. So there you have it, the pod vehicles and the figures. If I had to rate this, I'd rate them as 6 out of 10, mainly because there are some things I'm pleased with and some things I'm not really pleased with, like the fact the drill on the mole doesn't turn, the excavator has no articulation at all. But to be honest, I think it's better than nothing just to have these, because here in the United Kingdom, the only pod vehicles we get are Thunderbird 4, the Mole and the Firefly. Sometimes we get the recovery vehicle, but that's very rare. Whereas in Japan, they do all the pod vehicles. The only ones, of course, missing are the neutralizer tractor, the monobrake, jet air transporter, and the fire tender. I also know in Japan there are other companies that have made pod vehicles. Some of them are a bit more detailed, they have some weathering in them, but personally, I think they're more like models, whereas with these, they're toys. I'm thinking of treating them a bit like models, so they'll be good for like some model shots, perhaps. So like I said, I'm happy with just these. I have to admit that Japan does make the best toys. So if this video has given you thoughts of maybe buying these, I got these from a website called the Magic Toy Box. I think you can also get these on eBay, but because with me, I'm not really an eBay type person, I prefer Amazon really. Thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you another time.